Hello there, everybody. And today, for another Superman animated review, I'm doing Superman versus the Elite. So, this came out, I think, 2013 or 12 or 11, I'm not sure. But this is based off What's So Funny About the America Way Superman storyline where he goes up against the Elite. So, this movie is actually really cool because it has a more unique looking animation style. I don't know what vibe I get from it, but it definitely looks a more cartoony version of the Superman world mixed with the modern comics at the time. But the main thing about this movie is Superman goes up against Manchester Black, who apparently is kind of an evil Superman, but I don't know, you can say he's more of an anti-hero until later in the movie where he goes full on villain, where he's going to try to rid the world of Superman so he can take over the metropolis, so because he feels Superman's way is just too simple. He doesn't like how Superman doesn't want to kill. He just wants to throw people in prison and do it the right way. But apparently Manchester's way, he feels he just wants to rid the world of all villains so they could just be done with it. But Superman does not like this at all, and it leads to them having conflict. But the main thing about this movie is Superman is voiced by George Newbern, who was the voice of Superman in the Justice League cartoons. It was nice that he comes back to voice Superman. It's always good to hear his voice. I do like Tim Daly, but also George Newbern as Superman. You can just tell the two almost sound the same. Honestly, I never really felt there was a difference between the voices. But the main thing that Superman does throughout this whole movie is he ends up meeting the Elite after encountering, I think it's Atomic Skull. Wait, no, Dr. Light. After his fight with Dr. Light, he encounters the Elite, and we do learn about their backstory, where Manchester Black used to live in the UK, and apparently he was an orphan with his sister, and apparently he discovered his powers at an early age, but after a mugging that happened, this is where he fully embraced his powers, and ever since then, he apparently found the group called the Elite, and they all got superpowers. One can turn into a dragging one. I forget the other two powers the other ones have, but I think the other one has electricity powers. But they're apparently a group who apparently wants Superman to join their group, but after fighting a giant beast that is being controlled by two goons who apparently were committing a crime, Manchester almost loses it. He almost kills the two, but Superman ends up convincing him not to do it. But then when Superman is shown the lair of the Elite, it turns out he's spying on all the criminals going around the world, and this is where we do get his philosophy that Superman is not willing to kill, but they be willing to finish the job for him. But Superman is trying to do it the right way, like I said, where he tells them that they're not going to be executioners and be like a government. So yeah, this is kind of like how Superman in Injustice wants to be a dictator, but in most regular Superman stories, Superman's a very hopeful figure. He doesn't want to defy who should live or die, no matter who causes what harm. That's what I like about this movie. It shows that we do see a more compassionate side of Superman. Since Superman is compassionate, we show that there is a right way to stop criminals. But apparently this just doesn't work for Manchester Black. But we also see Lois Lane in this movie. Apparently she does know Clark is Superman. Apparently, I'm guessing this version of the story is that they're in an established relationship. I'm surprised they didn't get the DCAU voice actress who voiced Lois, but that's okay. The one they got was fine, but the main cast in this movie is we got George Newbern, Polly Pardon, Robert Allen Dance, who plays Manchester Black. I thought he was really good. I almost thought he sounded like John Constantine at first, but I realized it was Robert Tilly Dance. I was surprised that he voiced Manchester, but I guess he's got a really good UK voice when it comes to that character. But the main thing that goes on in this movie is also we see Atomic Skull. So he was a more obscure character in the Justice League cartoon and DC. Apparently he kind of looks like, I'm pretty sure, Ghost Rider, but just like he has like a green skull, but in this movie he's got like a purple skull. But apparently he causes some chaos. He turns a bunch of people into stone, including one of Superman's friends, who apparently was I think he's a senator, who also his son is a big fan of Superman. He even's guys on little watch of Superman, which I thought was cool. But apparently he gets turned to stone, unfortunately, causing his son to want Superman to finish Atomic Skull by murdering him. But this is where Manchester comes in, and he decides to just kill Atomic Skull himself. And then Superman feels absolutely guilty for what has happened. But the main thing that goes on at the end of this movie, since this movie is pretty short, it's like where Superman has a final battle with the elites on the moon. They decide to take over Metropolis unless Superman is willing to turn himself into them, and that's what he does. They go to they go to the moon, and this is where we do get the final battle between all the characters, where Superman decides that he's going to take out the elite by what looks like he's going to kill them. He kills the one girl, the dragon lady, who gets hit by a dart. I'm pretty sure she dies, and then Superman decides to throw a tornado, causing the other two comrades to die. And this is where we do get the final battle between him and Manchester, who thinks Superman's gone crazy. But it turns out he did not go crazy. But we get a much bloodied Superman. He looks almost insane looking in this scene. But even Lois thinks he's gone too far. But it turns out this is all a trick. This is my favorite scene of the whole movie, where Superman basically pretends that he's gone too far, and he said he's willing to still fight for justice in the right way to save people. And so it turns out he actually didn't kill his Manchester's comrades. He just had his robots from the Fortress of Solitude, which Superman and Lois went to earlier in the movie. But apparently he had his robots take care of them by picking them up and acting like they died, and even pretending like the citizens died. So it kind of even reminded me of the fight between Invincible and Omni-Man. Weird comparison, where Omni-Man had Invincible get thrown into a bunch of citizens. It kind of reminds me of that, but instead the citizens didn't actually die, even though it's shown on live TV. But Manchester hates the idea that he is now just going to be thrown in prison and just rot. But Superman teaches him that his way can still work, and shows that there can be good people even if it's in a cruel world. But Manchester's taken to prison by Superman's robots. And the movie ends with Superman and Lois flying into the sky. So yeah, sorry if I skipped some things, but Superman vs. the Elite was definitely an underrated animated Superman movie. I honestly could see it as like a episode of the animated series. Is it part of the DCAU? Nah, since we got a different established Lois Lane, we got Atomic Skull. I'm surprised we didn't see Lex Luthor in this movie. But I guess they wanted to focus on Manchester, which is fine. But the voice acting's pretty good. I do like the animation. It has a very unique style, like I said. But is this my favorite Superman anime movie? I don't know, honestly. I don't know if I really have one. I think it's like The Death of Superman, the part of the New 52. I think that's my favorite Superman movie. Maybe I'll review that if I feel like it. But I'd probably give Superman vs. the Elite probably 1 out of 7 out of 10. So what do you think of Superman vs. the Elite? And you think I should review other Superman animated movies? So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.